What if you scribbled an idea on a napkin and it became a limitless scale tech company poised for exit? What if you had a vision of eliminating an inefficiency in your community, industry, or the world, and you had a chance to co-found a company and bring this product or service to the market? What if we could positively impact every social issue with tech? 10x Tech Tank is the #1 daily show for everything tech entrepreneurship. And whether you are technical or not, you will learn, be inspired, and witness transformation in the making. People will share tech ideas on napkins. People will showcase minimum viable tech products. People will explain their cash-flowing tech companies looking for acceleration. And if the person is right, and their idea is right, and the market is right, and the business model is right, then there's a great chance you will witness some serious magic. We are on a mission to build, scale, and sell 10,000 tech companies in 10 years. And we invite you to make history with us. Together, we achieve more.
Welcome to 10x Tech Tank. Jared Yellin here, and E-Money.
And Eric Nowoslawki.
So he started calling himself E-Money because, our wonderful head of all production, his name is Art, calls me J-Money. And all of a sudden he's like, if he's J-Money, I gotta be E-Money. Was that original?
Yeah.
Was that original?
I really don't know. We were on a Zoom call.
Be honest with the audience here. Was calling yourself E-Money original?
I would call it original because I can't even
remember.
remember you saying J-Money.
So I don't call it. Art calls me J-Money.
I haven't even heard that.
But Katie thinks that the reason you did it was because Art called me J-Money.
Oh, really? Well, I got to.
Katie's our director of operations.
Oh, yeah.
She said that. So, welcome to the tank. We appreciate you for being here. We show up Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 5 p.m. Pacific Time. What we have are entrepreneurs that are waiting to pitch us their big tech idea. I was talking to somebody the other day, and I'm like, do you know that when we are on the tank, we don't know who the entrepreneur is before? And they're like, there's no way. Of course you know. Like, no, we really don't know. So I want you to speak into this. We have no idea what these pitches are. Is that true?
And we absolutely no idea. Why do people think that we lie about that?
I don't know. They think that like on a show, it's all staged. Like, this isn't staged. We have an idea review committee, and everybody that shows up on the show has filled out a written application. We were kicked out of the initial phase of reviewing applications so that the team reviews it, and then they're picking the ones that should be individual pitches versus coming to the tank and pitching us in person. We have no idea what we're about to see. So we're seeing it for the first time with you. So what we ask you to do as you're watching are look for 4 things. Did the right person show up with the right idea, in the right business model, and in the right market and the right business model? That those 4 things present. Because if those 4 things are present, then we're gonna say yes to what we call due diligence. And what due diligence looks like is a 60 to 90 minute call with Eric, Seth Winters, our Chief Product Officer, Dan Russell, our Chief Strategy Officer, and sometimes even Mani Sundarajan, our CTO. And what we're looking for there is depth. We really go deep into that entrepreneur's vision. We wanna understand, how is this going to work? How are we bringing it to market? What research do you have to support the fact that there's a need in the marketplace for your solution? One of the things that we stand against is we really stand against people that make up problems. They are making up problems that the end user doesn't even know what they have, and they have a solution to a made up problem. And you might say, but yeah, there's no competition then. Yeah, there's no competition for good reason. It's not a problem. You're making up a problem and a solution, which means you have to first educate people on the fact they have a problem they don't even know about, and then educate them on your solution. Really expensive. We also stand against what we call really competitive markets, or red oceans, where there's a lot of players in the space and you have to outspend everybody just to get attention. So we want what we call a pink ocean, where there's a known problem in the world, or in an industry, or in a community, or in a country, and then there's just not an optimal solution. And those are the things that we're looking for. So with that, let's have our first entrepreneur pitch their tech idea. Welcome to the tank.
What if there was a simple business toolkit that got you paid by your clients, customers, and patients? What if you can set up your account in seconds and begin benefiting from all of the features in minutes? What if this entire platform is free? Business Toolkit is revolutionizing the way small businesses and sole proprietors are running their businesses by enabling you to manage your sales process from one platform from start to finish. Imagine canceling your expensive scheduling software, or discontinuing your clunky invoicing software, or eliminating your pricey task management software, and instead using one platform, your Business Toolkit, to drive your business forward. And don't forget, Business Toolkit is free. Sign up ASAP and begin saving money while you make way more money than ever before.
All right, we're back from a commercial with another wonderful entrepreneur. What is your name and where are you calling from?
Yeah, Brian Lemster. I am originally from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, a city that's built of steel and not paper money. And I love what you guys are up to. I think I've talked to Eric privately, and I see Grant on Clubhouse all the time. And, it's so funny because I just happen to be in Washington, D.C. right now.
Cool.
Is that the Washington Cathedral here,
I was going to say the
It's
cathedral,
beautiful,
right? You're at the
place,
National
right?
Cathedral, right?
And I think the perfect setting
Oh, sure.
to pitch a human governance operating system.
Cool. Go for it. You got 5 minutes. Go for it, Brian.
Okay, so this will take probably less than that. Anyway, so basically, I'm an angel investor and technologist. Let me see the time. Okay. So I'm an angel investor and technologist. Most of my career, I ran a software venture studio. So we would build and launch early stage companies and then help raise capital for them. Out of that, I had some exits and I made some angel investments. And so basically, as part of the work I did on blockchain legislation, I would go to DC typically each month from California, and I would like Office Space, so I would bring the views of the constituents right from California to DC. And when I did that, and I walked in the halls right down the block here, I didn't get any feedback. Right, I got hey, here's a handwritten note, here's a card, right, and there was no system at all to document our governance. And so then I started inventing and creating it right then. And basically the core concept is the company is called Orsinus International, and it is a human governance operating system. So essentially for a political candidate, which I'm renaming as human governance officials, how they vote, where they spend their money, and how they spend their time will be entirely community driven and documented on blockchain. So no funny stuff, man. Okay. And that's kind of the summary. I have, I have a couple of beta candidates running at this time. Greg Fisher, who ran out of Suffolk County, New York, was our initial beta candidate, and we have another candidate in process. I can't disclose that just yet, but he's in the Northern District of New York. And essentially, yeah, so the candidate, the political candidate, which I'm rebranding to human governance officials, will commit that he or she will spend their time, their money, and their votes as per the community directs. They will retain executive privilege, though. Okay, so the community can put in a request, right? And the candidate still can say, yeah, I don't want to do that, right? So let's say, for example, now we need real-time governance because of the good old coronavirus situation, particularly the new Omicron. Oh my goodness, Omicron, excuse me. So, let's take a poll, right? So let's say the mayor of New York says, hey, should we close the restaurants at 4 o'clock? And by the way, I pitched to the United Nations about a week ago. That's the example I gave. Should we close the restaurants at 4 o'clock? Well, okay, let's put it to the constituents to decide. And let's say that, 60 of the constituents say, yes, we should close the restaurants at 4 o'clock. Omicron is very dangerous. Grant doesn't agree with that, though. And then 40 people say no, let's close them. Oh my goodness, right? Or 40 people say yes, leave them open. You get what I'm saying, right? So the person can still say, you know what, we're not going to close restaurants at 4 o'clock, guys. 60 people said we should, 40 people said we shouldn't. We're still going to leave the restaurants open. It doesn't matter, right? So that's kind of a good example. What else? The revenue model. Revenues, of course. Everybody likes money, right? Revenue model, very simple. We're going to take a percentage, right, when we have a donation, and we'll accept cryptocurrency, of course, and we have a cryptocurrency donation engine. The federal regulation regarding that is just that you have to cash it into fiat instantly. Okay, you can't hold crypto, at least at this particular time. And so we'll take a percentage on donations, and additionally, we will charge a setup fee and maintenance fee. Very simple, right? So candidate wants to boot up. Okay, great. Based on, let's say a mayor, maybe $10,000 to $15,000 flat setup fee, percentage of donations, right? Very simple. ActBlue and WinRed, the two major political donation platforms, did billions and billions of dollars of donations in the 2020 election. And typically, there's another huge election season next year and good old 2024 with the presidential. So essentially, that's fine, but they don't offer.
So where are you in the Brian? Where are you in the process now? Like, how much of this is built versus is it being more conceptual at this point?
Well, I have the prototyping done. I have the designs done. I have the team to build it. I have everything that I need. I need $400,000 of operational capital. I have a full use of proceeds and funds for that. And I'm an angel, so I'm going to run my deal I'm going to run this almost like a nonprofit, but it's going to be very profitable. And the operating system
what does that mean?
Is going to be open
What does that mean?
Run
it like a nonprofit, but profitable.
It just means that I don't care about the money in it. I care about the mission, right? See this huge, massive church here, right? I'm a person of faith, being a person of faith. How much greater is this than me, right? How much greater is this than that beautiful rover sitting right there? Anyway, so that's all, man. And essentially, but let's put it this way, right? Orca is the name of the operating system. It'll be open source. Linux is open source too, right? But what I like to say is, Orca is to Orsonus as Linux is to Red Hat. Okay, Red Hat is a $3.4 billion company. So Orsonus will be the chief servicing provider for the Orsonus operating system. There we go.
Okay, so I have a few questions. So how do we get the human governance officials on this platform? Like, other than you, two of them, so you ask them. How do we do that?
That's already kind of done, man. I have my own network, and I'll basically go with, the confidence and with the, conviction of my colleagues, right? I have met many of these people, and one by one, they will want to do this because they, from a press standpoint, can say, hey, I'm running as a human governance official. I'm running as a community-driven human governance official. How I vote, where I spend my money, and how I spend my time will be decided by the community. Now, that's a powerful message to the press. So you can't really, a candidate that starts running that way, they don't have competition at that point.
Yeah.
So now, why does it have to be on the blockchain, though?
Yeah.
Well, because it's the use case for blockchain. It's distributed, transparent governance. And the other reason I came up with this is I sat around building all kinds of fun stuff like exchanges and wallets and games and everything like that. And that's really cute. There's a lot of cute, nice use cases for blockchain, but distributed, transparent governance is the use case for blockchain.
So besides for $400,000, besides for the money, what do you feel like you need? Is there a promotional support?
No, I just need the money. That's it, dude. I have the networks. I spent a lot of my own money. I sunk a lot of my own money in this deal. The only reason I'd ever go for outside capital was but for the zombie apocalypse. But God is still prevailing and reigning.
Cool. All right, let's see what everybody thinks. Let's watch it. What are your thoughts on Brian's idea here? Human governance operating system. Would you use this platform? Would you want your human governance officials on this platform? Please let us know in the chat. Eric, what are your thoughts on next steps?
So one thing that Tim Draper told me was when he looks at ideas, he always looks at not, how could this idea go wrong, but what would the world look like if this idea went well? And actually, in this case, that's actually one of my fears, is what if this idea really takes off? One thing that I'm afraid of in American politics is populism taking over both sides, where there are people making decisions on really complex issues, and then they take a really unsophisticated opinion on them, and then they'll vote up. And yes, your candidate could override, but how many candidates would just take the populist position instead? And then they would be able to, and then they might have to take the populist position because then they need to get elected in another 2 years, 4 years, or 6 years. And so my actual fear is too much populism coming into this. I also
executive privilege, man.
Yeah, but
that's what I'm saying. The candidate retains executive privilege, and that the populism thing. I pitched this to you privately, and you told me that. And I'm like, man, you don't understand the nuance of how I'm going to do this, to the point where people aren't going to, they can try and game it, man, but it's going to be hard to game this thing, man. It really is going to be hard.
I think that's one of the issues, is that there's probably a lot of nuance here. So, like, for me, I'm a maybe, because I just don't know enough to be one way or the next. I mean, you're obviously very impressive with your track record, your style of presenting this, the fact that you are doing this, your network, your mission. Like, there's a lot here that's really interesting. It's more of like really understanding nuance. We're going to send you a questionnaire to fill out, because it goes deeper into the idea. So it gives us a chance to determine whether or not we're truly the right partner for you. Because if all that you need is $400,000, I don't know if we're the right partner for you, because that's not the business that we're in. But we might be the right partner, because we might be able to do it for significantly cheaper, much faster, help it scale bigger as well. So we'll send you those questions. We appreciate you. Thank you for coming to the tank. And we'll look forward to your response.
Enjoy DC, Brian.
Yes, enjoy. All right. After this commercial, we have another entrepreneur. Thank you so much.
What if there was a way to guarantee farm fresh produce in the home of every family in your zip code? What if you and your family could launch a business out of your home, place of worship, or anywhere you desire? What if you could become part of the solution to current healthcare crisis that plagues our world? What if you could become your local farm bridge? We are on a mission to find one local health enthusiast in every zip code from around the world to launch a local farmers market. This business opportunity will take only a few hours a week and produce significant income for you and your family. Plus, it's a force for good as we unite and simplify the process of connecting local farmers with local families so that farm fresh produce exists within every home in your community. We are on a mission to revitalize our soil, help the farmers who work tirelessly to provide high nutrient foods to our families, and strengthen the health of our nation that has been manipulated into consuming low nutrient, ultra processed foods. Together, we can grow the number of thriving, sustainable farms and increase human health and longevity through creating ease in access to high nutrient foods. Spots are limited and zip codes are being claimed quickly, so if you could see yourself as part of the solution, we invite you to join our movement.
All right, we're back from commercial break with another wonderful entrepreneur. What is your name and where are you calling from?
Yes, my name is Curtis Platt, and I'm calling from Alberta, Canada.
Awesome.
Nice.
Thank you for being here. In the next 3 to 4 minutes, please share your big tech idea.
Yeah, well, first off, I want to say thanks to the 10X community. I'm a big part of it, and almost about to platform my business probably in January. So
Congratulations.
Oh, congratulations.
That's awesome, man. Good for you.
Yeah, it's been awesome. But my idea is based on a review-based situation. So you've got Google and Facebook, TripAdvisor, Amazon, LinkedIn, they all have reviews, right? And reviews help solidify a business, what they do, what people are happy with. They point out gaps in the market or gaps in that business to be able to make the business do better. Then you also have reviews keep businesses accountable. So, hey, they didn't do this, they didn't offer me this, where people can spend their money. And the reviews help consumers decide where to spend their dollars. Now, what if, for an example, a business on the flip side, like a car dealership or a home builder or even a local plumber, knew the type of consumer they were dealing with prior to doing business with them? So if the builder knew, if the business knew that, like say someone like Barry is hard to deal with and gives a 1-star review to everyone, and is never satisfied, the home builder might think twice of agreeing to build Barry's home, for an example. So if Barry is continuing to be negative online and always post 1-star reviews, maybe everyone that the business are doing business with Barry it's not the business, it's Barry's expectations. And so I have some stats and stuff like that we can get into, but with a review-based system, so on gathering public reviews in one spot, or for that matter, people can search and see what the public reviews are. And I have a few ways to be able to generate that and get that, but just with that conceptual idea. I've sent this out actually to friends and family that I've trusted over the years through email, and finally I'm excited to share it. But yeah, so with a review-based system, you're gathering these reviews so that businesses or people can see a rating-based system. Now, like right now, employers are looking up social platforms, Facebook, Instagram, social profiles for projected hires. Businesses could potentially look up who they're about to do business with. Very similar to like a credit check. Hey, do you pay your bills? Well, let's check your credit. Well, hey, are you easy to deal with and someone that I actually want to do business with myself? let's make sure that we're on the same system, we're on the same page. And so it would keep the consumer, I feel, from portraying real and honest reviews and more careful about what they say publicly on review platforms like Google or Facebook or all the other ones out there, TripAdvisor. So it keeps them accountable from not just always being, I've dealt with businesses over the years, and I've also owned multiple businesses as I do right now. So I deal with this all the time where you have the best price, the best service, the best everything, and someone still gives you 1 star because I have black hair or something like that, or they felt that I wasn't nice enough or something. So there's different ways to be able to do that. So like a business advertises their ratings online and brags about it. Hey, we're 5 stars. Check us out. We have 1,000 reviews. Consumers can brag about their rating. So for an example, when they come in and do a business, it's like, here's my credit check and here's my 5 stars based on that. And just kind of like an operating system where Airbnb or Uber, you rate each other. That's another way to be able to potentially do that. But yeah, I don't want to take too much time. I have more notes, but I wanted to keep it to the 3 to 4 minutes as you guys stated.
So what's the initial revenue model? How would you support this platform?
How do you monetize it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so 100%. So there could be a few different ways. A monthly subscription for the business to pull somebody's report. Different tiers based on how many times they want to pull the report. Consumer pays a fee and they get a discount at a business listed there. So businesses list themselves, and then a consumer can come in and be like, hey, I got a discount because look at my reviews. Reverse advertising, like an Angie's List, another way. I got a lot of different ways. You can filter reviews based on local areas. So for instance, in Miami. So when I was down there and I met you, Jared, at the 360 boot camp.
Yeah.
So very similar to localized. So if I was looking for a plumber potentially in Miami, it can localize and filter reviews based on that local area to pull the report saying, hey, I need a plumber, and here's the plumbers that are ranked the highest based on people's experience with them. And then that potentially, the businesses can pay to rank higher closer to people on logistics. So another way to be able to pull the reports, as I've been sharing with people, is you can log in and basically log into your GMB or something like that and pull all those reports and funnel it into this new platform, so that there's ways that you can pull reports, scraping them from different platforms with different APIs and stuff. So
cool.
Yeah, it's something that I feel that would be quite
So
handy.
I'm gonna pose like a worst case scenario, and I just want to make sure that we're staying away from that. So what I particularly despise is China has like a social credit score system, which is terrible because it's centralized and only the Chinese government controls it, and then it's also terrible because it's transparent and anybody could look up your social score and see those things. So how would you keep the thesis of your idea and then stay like 100 feet away from that?
Yeah, and that's a good point. I've actually thought of that myself, because I don't want it to be something where people don't get to do business with them based on their score. So I get that, and that's not the premise of the idea. For me, I own multiple businesses right now, and I deal with this problem where someone's like, well, hey, I dealt with this business, I own a home building company, so that's why I was using that example. It's like, well, we did everything right, we did everything that we were told to do, and you still gave like a 1-star review. It's like, well, why? And then they're like, oh, and they had some reason off the side, not on the public review. We're like, well, you did this wrong, but they didn't share that in the review. And so I'm trying to eliminate people that just go on there and complain, and people that are just like, you know what, we know you were hard to deal with from the beginning. If we would have known that, we potentially would have went to the other guy, because for home builders, there's only so many homes that you can build a year, right? There's only so much time that you have to do that. And so we were thinking, we're like, well, there's got to be a way to be able to filter some of those individuals out, where it's like someone else can build that home for you, and we would have gone with this guy instead of you. That's all it is. It's not something to kind of kick people down. It's not something to hold people down. It's more or less the opportunity to say, hey, be a little bit more accountable for what you share online, because those negative reviews like really, really negatively impact businesses. For example, 94% people on these results I was pulling have avoid to do a business because of a negative review. 1 in 4 out of 10% of reviews are fake, And so those shouldn't even be listed there. But people read those and it negatively affects their perception of the business to go do somewhere else. So it's more just the accountability side, but really at the end of the day, it's something that I feel would be just taking all of those reviews from all these different platforms, putting it in, and then making sure that, you know, a business or other people can just have their own confidence of, like you said, a credit score. Not the China side, but someone walks in to a business and says, here's my credit score, here's my review-based score, I'm easy to deal with, hey, let's hit it, let's do business.
Yeah, I think it's an interesting concept. I think it also could motivate like good customer behavior if they're rewarded for it, like they're going to get discounts.
Okay.
So I think that's interesting. I think the whole thing is interesting.
Yeah,
like one of my things I was thinking about is like sometimes like I think about like Cinduit is a company that I have, and we had like a couple of negative reviews, and the people were just nuts. They were like loony bins. And we're a software solution, it made it a little bit more difficult to like stop somebody from signing up online for a SaaS product. But my concern would be like with the crazies is like, are they going to throw out like the discrimination card? Like, oh, you're just not allowing me in. So if we could somehow mainstream this whole premise, because no one could say it's discrimination that someone doesn't do business because of a credit score. Like it's sorry, we only can do business if your credit score is at a certain level.
Yeah.
And if we can mainstream this, like, oh, no, we only do business with consumers that are at this level, but we can help you get there. Like if there's like a way that people can learn how to become better consumers, like the same way that they can learn how to improve their credit score, and that's a way they can improve it, because if someone has just a negative consumer rating, in theory, like they could be turned away by every business.
Now, but does that add friction to the transaction though? Like would consumers actually, well, I mean, if they were getting a discount.
I think it's industry, right? Like your industry makes so much sense because like maybe there's 12 homes you can build a year, right? Whatever that number might be. And like you need to hand pick those 12, because even like one negative consumer, like that's gonna ruin a month for you. Like that's a lot of time versus you like, oh yeah, I want consumer ratings of over 5. Yeah. And if it's not over 5, I'm not gonna even entertain it because I don't want to deal with it. And there's others that might not have that level of need. It's interesting. So I have a question too. So do you think that the business, are they going onto this platform to rate the consumer? Is the platform going to scrape all their reviews and come up with a score? Are consumers inputting things on the platform? Is it all of the above? Like, where does this data
where does the data come from?
So that's kind of where I feel that your experience and partnering with you guys, which I'm looking forward to, by the way. But on the side note is I want to make sure that the data is real, that it's not just something that they just throw out there for fun. So it could come from a few different sources, I thought. Number one, you log into TripAdvisor or Yelp, and there's a connector to be able to say, all right, I authorize this new platform to pull all of my previous reviews. So that's one way to pull real ones. And then there's other ones that they could add themselves, or most importantly, the business that they just dealt with could add a review based on them. Kind of that Uber type Airbnb situation where, hey, I rate you, you rate me. Let's keep our ratings to a certain level. So that's one way I feel to be able to get the data. You want to make sure that you get the data. And then on top of that, basically the consumer, as you had said, Jared, they want to build a consumer profile so that they can bring that to a business, like I said, to get a discount, because I feel a discount is relevant for any business for that matter. It's like, well, hey, bring me your consumer profile showing that you're good to do business with, and I'll give you a discount. And so that's where it incentivizes both the business to get a good consumer that it's not an a-hole, and then also it incentivizes the consumer to be like, you know what, hey, I know I probably shouldn't have to write some of these negative reviews. I should have just dealt with the business personally to be able to figure it out, which is what the business wants at the end of the day. Like, yes, I think negative reviews are super important, but I want to eliminate and cut down some of the useless noise of negative reviews.
No, listen, I think the intent is really pure. I love it. Okay, feedback from everyone watching here. Do you wish this platform existed? If you're a business owner right now, do you wish you knew the consumer review of this dude right here? Because this is a negative Nancy. No, I'm just kidding. It's very nice. But no, would you want to know, like, what the consumer review score of anyone that's going to potentially do business with you? And also as a consumer, like, would you be motivated to really stay above board with working with businesses instead of trying to like tar and feather them online? You just work with them directly to help them improve so that you can keep your consumer score high and then get a discount at different companies as a result. What are your thoughts on next steps?
So, all right. So my thoughts on next steps is yes, I want to go into more due diligence. And there's just a lot of things that I want to cover in due diligence, like how would we get this out here to customers? How are we going to fill in the data? I mean, I could get all of the raw data that we want, but how are we going to structure? I have just a lot of questions. But yes, I'm a yes. You could always usually tell, if for the audience and then for yourself as well, you can always tell if we're a yes, if we're already starting to take your idea forward right here, which we were just doing. So I'm a yes.
Yeah, I'm really a yes on you. Like, I want to acknowledge you. Like, I love your style. I love how you presented it. Like, you didn't drown us with data. Like, you said I have more data here, but I want to keep this short just so you can ask questions. Then you brought back the data. Like, when we asked questions, you then went into the data. Oftentimes in shorter pitches like this, people like feel the need to take a 30-minute pitch and fit it into 5 minutes, and that's not what they need to do. Like, they need to just share 5 minutes of information to do what you just did, which has piqued our interest, so we asked more questions, and then you have the data to support your responses. I'm a yes on you. Someone will do this. Like, this whole premise of like consumer rating is going to happen, and I want to go deeper with you. I want to really explore how to bring this to the world. As always, our audience can influence us. Please let us know what you think. But Curtis, thank you so much. Congratulations on platforming. Huge success for you and for your family. And up next, after this commercial, with another entrepreneur in the tank.
What if you could increase profit and transparency on your farm for generations to come? What if you were able to save dozens of hours each month? What if you were able to reduce the time and stress spent on bookkeeping during harvest season? What if we had an answer to your prayers? The solution is called Field Pocket. Field Pocket is a software application to keep track of farmers' harvest data. From grain contracts to managing delivery tickets and settlement sheets to linking all the documents in organized reports. The app automates previously manual tasks on the farm to create a more efficient and reliable tracking system for farmers, allowing them to ditch their paper and pen approach and automate data analysis related to grain tracking and payments. But enough of the tech talk. Field Pocket will give you time to spend with your children. Field Pocket will eliminate the stress of running the business of the farm. Field Pocket will reap you benefits that you never thought possible. Here at Field Pocket, we aim to increase your quality of life on the farm for generations to come. Simple as that. We invite you to join a Field Pocket family so that you have more time for your family.
And there we have it, another episode complete. It's so much fun. I mean, it's so cool. Entrepreneurs come up here and they're sharing their dreams. And we're in this unique position where we always want to say yes, but we don't want to say yes to someone's dream if we don't really see it, because the thing that's more precious than anything else in your life is time. I remember when I was in my 20s, I have this good friend, his name is John Butcher. He's a very successful entrepreneur. He said, Jared, never waste your 20s. He's like, you need to make sure that whatever you do in your 20s is the most important thing to do in your 20s. And then in your 30s, do the most important thing in your 30s. In your 40s, and every decade, you need to do what's the most important thing that you're gonna do. Because if you pursue the wrong dream, all that you're losing is time. And often people get so stuck on that one dream, that one vision. And if they gave themselves the permission to look around the corner of that vision or dream, they're actually going to see the idea that produces the dream life versus just having a dream. So when we say no, it's never hurt anybody. It's because we're just not seeing it. And maybe because there's nothing there. And maybe if you start looking at the initial idea from a different perspective, you might find the Slack. What do I mean by that? Slack was a chat software for a video game company. And the video game company, it went out of business. It didn't make it. But they built this chat software just for the gamers to communicate with each other. And the founders thought to themselves, well, what if we productize this thing? So they did. And during COVID, Slack sold, I think, for $21 billion to Salesforce.com. That's what it means to look on the other side of the dream. Because the original dream was a gaming company. But it just didn't work. That wasn't the dream for the world. The dream for the world was Slack, the chat software that really has changed the way that businesses and just ecosystems at large communicate. So thank you for being here. We go live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 5 p.m. Pacific Time, and we do this for you. We do this so that you have an opportunity to see people pitch us their dreams. because maybe, just maybe, you're going to see someone that looks like you or sounds like you or has a vision that's bold, and it allows you to step into your bold and to your audacious, and as a result, you submit your idea. You submit your idea, and then you get invited to pitch in the tank. We thank you for being here. We encourage you, head over to 10xtechtank.com. Make sure that you get on our list so we can notify you daily when we go live, and make sure that you submit your big tech idea as well. Pitch 10x.com. Submit your idea. We want you on the show. All right, we'll see you on the next episode. Bye for now.
Which napkin will become the next exit? Which MVP will evolve into a unicorn? Which cash-flowing tech company will reach the next level? Our hope and desire is that it's yours. Your idea, your MVP, your cash-flowing tech company. Now is your time. Head over to 10xincubator.com and submit your idea so that you get on the tank and give us the chance to transform your napkin into an exit. That's 10xincubator.com. That's 10xincubator.com. Let's go.